made him go in a nutrient bath, and that made him great. I've lost you now as well. I've beaten you. I've beaten you with your kill everyone. No, you don't claim to be an expert, but you looked at me with a doubtful face, as if this is going to get him. But look, I know more about the Hulk than you, and I'm older than you. So... that's fine. So I was really excited to interview Ang Lee about the Hulk, and because he'd made the film. But when I interviewed, I try and make a little joke to put them at ease, you know. So I rang him up. He was in New York. I was in London, and I said to him, Ang Lee, you have directed the Hulk film. You must be very excited and proud, but don't make me Ang Lee. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Then there was a long, embarrassed pause, and then Ang Lee said, I'm sorry, what did you say? And I said, Ang Lee, you've directed the Hulk film. You must be very excited and proud, but don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And there was another kind of silence, and then Ang Lee said, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? And I said, there's no need, it was just a stupid joke. And he went, no, what did you say? And I said, Ang Lee, you've directed the Hulk film. You must be very excited and proud, but don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And he didn't say anything. And I said, I expect loads of people have made that joke to you. And he said, no. No one's ever said it before. Why did you say it? Why? And I said, well, Ang, you know the Hulk film? And he went, yeah. I said, well, in that, Bruce Banner, he's the Hulk. He says, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And your name's Ang Lee, and you directed it. So I said, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Because Ang Lee sounds a bit like angry. And Ang Lee said, no, it doesn't. And I said, come on, Ang. Be fair, Ang Lee does sound a bit like angry. And Ang Lee said, no, it doesn't. Ang Lee is a completely different word to Ang Lee. And I said, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? And Ang Lee said, yes, Ang Lee is a completely different word to Ang Lee. And I said, I don't understand what point you're trying to make, Ang. What I'm saying, if you listen, is that angry sounds a bit like Ang Lee. So if you swap them round, people can see there's a slight change. There's some sort of joke there. Ang Lee, what you're saying, is actually the same word as Ang Lee. If you swap those two words round, no one would notice the difference. It wouldn't work. But that's not what you appear to be saying, is that Ang Lee is a completely different word to Ang Lee. But it isn't. They're the same thing. And I can't understand. It's very simple, the joke I'm making. I can't understand how you've got into this kind of fix. And then he went, oh, I get it, he said. is this a joke about me having a Taiwanese accent? And I was mortified. I went, no, it never even occurred to me that you would think that. It's just a simple thing about the words, the syllables, Ree and Lee, sounding the same. My own surname is Lee. I've had 36 years of fun with that syllable. I know what I'm talking about. I can't see why you would begin to think. And he went, no, you're anti-Taiwanese. And I went, I'm not. I don't even know where Taiwan is. I've got no interest in it. It's made it worse, to be honest. Then he got you on, then he got a lawyer on from Universal, and I had to shouting at me, saying I had to get my editor on from the paper to stick up for me. We ended up having this kind of four-way argument. It went on for ages. He's going, you're anti-Taiwanese. She was saying, my editor's going, no, he isn't. There's no history of anti-Taiwaneseness at all. And there was like this thing, and on Ang Lee started shouting at me about it. And I went, well, I can't see what your problem is. Why don't you just listen to the joke? It's obvious. Then in the end he went, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And I said, you've proved my point, you fucking Taiwanese idiot. He said, don't call me that. He got another bloke on, an advisor. I had to get someone else on, the publisher. There's like a 6-way, 2-hour debate going on. In the end, we argued for so long that Ang Lee missed his 2:30 dentist appointment. That's the time that he goes to the dentist, Glasgow. Don't let him tell you any different. He doesn't even need to write it down. They offer him an appointment card, he rejects it. He says, I'll remember it by thinking about my own pain. I'm going to shout out some questions now. I need you to answer loudly to them. The answer to most of them is yes. OK, 1, 2, 3. Who likes alcohol? Yeah. Louder. Who likes sweets? Yeah. Who likes cream cakes? Yeah. Who likes their favourite food, whatever it is? Yeah. Who likes Ben Elton? Oh, it's no one. OK, here's another one. Who likes The Simpsons? Yeah. Who likes Spider-Man? Yeah. Who likes their favourite fictional character from their own childhood? Yeah. Who likes their own beloved mother? Yeah. Who likes Ben Elton? Oh, it's no one again. OK, here's another one. Who likes snowflakes? Yeah. Who likes sunshine? Yeah. Who likes the universal concept of eternal peace and happiness? Yeah. Who likes Osama bin Laden? Yeah. Who likes Ben Elton? Oh, it's no one again. It's fucking weird. It's weird. That is weird, 'cause I must have done that 30 or 40 times, right? And every time, without any element of manipulation, more people like Osama bin Laden, a multiple murderer, than Ben Elton. I think, why would more people like Osama bin Laden than Ben Elton? I think it's because when you compare the two of them, compared to Ben Elton, Osama bin Laden has at least lived his life to a consistent set of ethical principles. Because... Yeah, clap, let him hear you. So, because people hate Ben Elton. Every now and again, a journalist has the courage to ask him why this is. I've seen it happen twice in print. And once on Parkinson. Parkinson said to him, he said to Ben Elton, why do you think everyone hates you? And Ben Elton said, he did. And Ben Elton said, well, Michael, it's because in this country, people don't like success. But he was wrong about that. The real answer is much more simple. It's just that in this country, people don't like Ben Elton. And they don't hate him through the kind of conduit of the notion of success. They hate him entirely on his own terms because of who he is and the bad things that he's done. And I think if you're my age, you can kind of understand why it is. Because if you're over 35, you remember before alternative comedy, when you'd watch comedians and it had no kind of relevance to you, you didn't understand what they were talking about or who they were. And then the young ones came along and all that with Ben Elton, and you felt, oh, at last, something for us. Then, of course, over the years, Ben Elton's changed. He's worked with Queen, who were one of the British bands that broke the cultural embargo on South Africa under apartheid. He's worked with Andrew Lloyd Webber, who's worse than that. And a song that they co-wrote was performed at the inauguration of George Bush. And when questioned about it, Ben Elton said he didn't see it so much as a celebration of George Bush as a celebration of the President of the United States of America. But, of course, they're the same thing. That's why that argument doesn't work. The problem is he's been kind of compromised by a proximity to success. And if you think about it, all the great comedians are kind of outsider figures commenting on society from outside, kind of holy fools, shaman clowns, outsiders. Spike Milligan was able to remain an outsider by virtue of having long-term mental illness problems. Bill Hicks has been able to remain an outsider because he died of cancer at the age of 33. Michael Barrymore has been able to remain an outsider by becoming the subject of a murder investigation after a man was found dead in his pool. And I admire Barrymore's commitment to this abstract notion of the outsider shame and clown figure, and I think it's good that he's saying it's great to be this late at night in Glasgow talking about this idea. But lately I have more sympathy for what we in the trade call Elton's compromise. Because in the last few years I directed a show, and it was a kind of hit in the West End, and I had to meet loads of famous people on press nights and opening nights. I met Bonnie Langford. Yeah, I met her twice. I met the tall one from the 3 Degrees, Sheila, something her name is. And one night I found myself shaking hands before I realised who it was, with Michael Portillo, right? I looked up, I thought it was the little wooden goblin from the Cuprinol advert. But it was Michael Portillo, someone whose policies I had marched against as a student, or would have done if I hadn't been drunk. With theoretically... But there was worse to come than Portillo. On June the 16th last year, I heard a rumour that Sherry Blair was going to come and see the show, right? And I thought, well, I hope that's not the case. You know, I don't want to have to meet her, because I'm one of 2 million Britons that marched against her husband's war. I think it's unethical. It's going to come back and bite us in the ass, and we'll be in trouble about it for decades once the dust settles. And I don't want to have to be like some E-list celebrity New Labour apologist. I don't want to meet her. No way. And then the next day, the woman from the public relations company for the show rang me up and she said, I've got some great news. Sherry Blair is coming to see the show and she wants to meet the cast and the creative team afterwards. And I went, I'm sorry, I can't do it. This is where I draw a line, you know. I said, you don't even want me in the building. If I'm there, I'm going to get kind of political Tourette's syndrome and just do something like fly an anti-war banner off the stage or make a speech at the end or just do something to Sherry Blair that'll wipe that, whatever that is, on her face, you know. Make it go. And she said, well, that's a shame because... Does this change your mind? She said, she's not coming on her own. She's coming with her guest, who is the president of Scope, the Spastic Society. Right, and this honestly happened. I was put in this weird position where you want to make some ineffectual gesture against Sherry Blair, but you don't want to snub a person from a worthwhile charity, Scope, you know. So I thought, well, I know what I'll do. I'll go down. And after the show, I'll say to Sherry Blair, I hope you're happy, Sherry. I hope when you look across at Tony every morning you think of all those thousands of people killed in his war. And I hope you're happy when you think of all those little kids